Okay, extended algebra 2, period 1. I would like to apologize for that a squared b squared c squared. That explanation was absolutely atrocious. Now we are going to do that, but I need to explain some things a little bit better. So my job in here is to solve these equations. So just like all the other equations, okay, there would be two answers because you have x to the second. So I put that down here. Now I make a little square so I can decide what I need to do to find those two answers. I don't need to do the set boxes because I have x to the second, but I don't have any other kinds of x's, okay? So it's x squared equals x equals is what I'm going to do. So then we come over here and just write that out, okay? X squared equals x equals. So with that in mind, I put a 1 in front of my x, I dot it and circle it. And then here's the job I did. And then pay attention to the equals, put a box around the equal sign, okay? Now, here's the thing. The 9 and the 25 have to go together, okay? We have to either add or subtract those. Now, here's my equals. Are the 9 and 25 on the same side of that equals, or are they on opposite sides? Well, it looks to me they're on opposite sides. Opposite is what I'm writing down. Opposite. If they're on opposite sides, you're going to minus those numbers, okay? But which one do I minus? Because, I mean, there's two numbers. You got to minus the right one. Well, what's outside your bubble, okay? Is it the 9 or the 25? What's the 9 that's being added to the bubble? So that's the one I minus to get rid of it, and then I minus it from 25, okay? And then I take 25 minus 9. That's 16. Let's just underline that, put a 16. Now your dotted number's a 1. If the dotted number's a 1, don't divide. Just get rid of it, because dividing 16 by 1, okay, is still 16. It doesn't really affect it. So now I know that x to the second power equals 16. X second equals 16. So I can put 16 here. Now to find what number times itself is 16, you draw a square root over that. And then you go second and then the fourth key up. Okay, second, fourth key up is 16. Remember, put two parentheses if you want. Okay, so x is 4, and then your answers are 4 and negative 4. Okay, next problem. Once again, there's two answers because you have x to the second. And again, I don't have any other x's but the one that's to the second, so I don't need to do the set boxes. I just find out what x squared equals and x equals. So again, I put the 1 in front, I dot it, and circle it. Now these other two numbers have to go together. Now here's my equals, okay? This time those numbers are on the same side. So I put same side, okay? Up there I should have went opposite side. If they're on the same side, you're just going to add, okay? Now when you add, you don't need to really do anything but cross them out and take 16 plus 36. That's what you do when you add. You got 52. Okay, you don't need the 1 in front. You can get rid of that, okay? And then 52 equals x to the second. So I put 52 over here. And then to find the number times itself, that's 52, I find the square root of 52 on my calculator. So I go second and then fourth key up, 52, 7.21. So my two answers are 7.21 and negative 7.21. Okay. So if they're on opposite side, you minus the number that's on the same side as the bubble, okay? If you're adding, you just cross them out and add. Okay, next one, x to the second power plus 25 equals 100. So there are two answers. So the method, I have x to the second, but I don't have any other kinds of x's, okay, like an x or an x third, Okay, so it's x squared equals x equals. Okay, so to get this, I put the 1 in front, dot it, and circle it. I'm going to get rid of the 1 here in a second, but putting the 1 there helps me know what I have to circle. And here's my equals. The 25 and 100 are on opposite sides, so opposite sides, if they're on opposite, we're going to minus, okay? But you got to minus the right one, okay? You minus the number that's on the same side as the bubble, so it'd be 25. So I minus 25, minus 25. So 100 minus 25 is 75. Okay, then I do not need this 1 here. As long as it's a 1, if it'd be like a 2, then I'd divide 75 by 2. Okay, but it's a 1. Dividing 75 by 1 is still 75. Okay, it doesn't change, so that's why I kind of just ignore it. So I now know that x to the second equals 75. So I put 75, then I square root it, because that tells me that that finds the number times itself. That's 75, so 8.66. So again, we could have positive or negative 8.66. Okay, then my next one, there are 2 answers. So again, what method do I have to use? Again, I don't have any other x's that are not to the second power, so I can get x squared equals and then x equals. Find what that x to the second equals, so I put a 1 in front, dot it, and circle it. That means these two numbers go together. And here's my equals, they're on the same side. So if they're on the same side, we're just going to add. And when I add, I just cross them out and then add 81 plus 25. And that's 106. Okay, now normally is when I divide, but there's a 1 here, so we can get rid of the 1. Okay, so 106 equals x to the second. I can put my 106 right there. And then I find the square root of 106. So if you got a 1 there, you get rid of it and you don't have to divide. Okay, 10.29. So it could be positive 10.29, but it also could be negative, because negative times negative also will equal that 106. Okay, my next page, x to the second power plus 4 equals 9. So again, we have 2 answers. And again, we're going to get x second equals and x equals, because this is the only x I have. So x second equals x equals. So I put the 1 in front, dot, and circle. And that means these two go together. Now here's my equal sign. The 4 and the 9 are on opposite sides. Okay, so then I'm going to minus. But which one do I minus? I minus the number that's being added to the bubble, which would be 4. So I take 9 minus 4, and that's 5. Now is when I divide, but since it's a 1, I just get rid of it, and I know x to the second equals 5. And now what number times itself is 5? So we find the square root of 5. So second, fourth key up, 5, 2.23. So it could be the positive or the negative, those two things. Okay, next problem, 2 answers. So I have to find what x to the second could, so x second equals x equals, because I don't have x to any other power but the second. So again, I put the 1 in front, dot, and circle, and that leaves these two to go together. So here's my equals. This time they're on the same side. If they're on the same side, we're going to add. So just cross that out and add and take 36 plus 144. That's 180. Now I do not need to divide that by 1 because it will be the same thing. As long as it's a 1, any other number, you got to divide 180 by that number. So I know 180 equals x to the second, so I put 180, and then I find the square root of 180. Second, remember 2 parentheses, 180. You go second and then the fourth key up, and that's 13.41. So I could be at 13.41 or negative 13.41. Okay, my next problem, there would be 2 answers. So again, because x to the second is the only variable I have, I go x second equals x equals. So again, I put the 1 in front, dot and circle. That leaves these 2 would go together. Okay, here's my equals. They're on opposite sides. So if they're on opposite sides, we need to minus. Okay, which one do I minus though? The one that's with the x to the second, 49. Okay, so minus 49, and then minus 49 from 64, and that's 15. Okay. Now I do not need to divide by the 1 because it's just a 1. Dividing 15 by 1 would still be 15. So I know what x to the second equals. It equals 15. Okay? I mean, you can divide 15 by 1, but it's still going to be 15. Then what number times itself is 15? Second, square root, and then square root of 15. 3.87. So I could have positive or negative. Okay, then my last one, 2 answers. Again, x to the second is all I have. So I get x to the second, make sure that's by itself, and then I will square root to find what x equals. So again, I put a 1 in front, dot and circle, and then I see these 2 numbers here. Here's my equals. They're on the same side. So if they're on the same side, you're going to add. So when adding, you're just going to cross it out. Take 16 plus 49. Okay, that is 65. Okay, now if there's a 1 there, we don't need to divide. We'll just get rid of the 1. Okay, so I know what x to the second equals, 65. Okay. Then what number times itself is 65? I need to find the square root of 65. So second square root, 65. So 8.06. And I could have the positive or the negative.